We are back from Firebird Field and moments away from the first home kickoff of the 2023 season. Getting ready to swing the leg here to get us off is Cole Kimball. And I do apologize, we have some technical difficulties getting started here. I'm going to pass this one off to Jordan to take you through the kickoff.
All right, well, something to watch during this kickoff. Princeton is not confident in their kicking game on paper or in the game. This kicker that's about to kick off right here was 0 for 1 and only 1 attempt last week. Number 34 takes a kick. We're getting ready to go.
Beginning of the season is always fun with the technical side of things, but I do believe we have everything back and running. Didn't even miss a play. Getting better by the week.
Right.
Cole Kimball in last week's game did not attempt a field goal. He was out for 3 extra points and missed 1. His kickoff skill is apparently not off to a great start here. Goes out of bounds. Firebirds going to be taking this one from the 40-yard line to start their first offensive drive at Firebird Field this year.
All right, this is what everybody wants to see right here. This is the game right here. I know I said that against X last week, but this is GMC play. It starts now, and especially starts with the offense. And again, I can't stress it enough of getting into a rhythm early with these guys. So I'll be curious to see what they start out with here. Maybe short passes, get feel out the drive like X did last week. But I'll be curious to see what they try and go with right here.
A little bit of confusion on where this ball is getting spotted. It will be placed at the 35-yard line. It looks like both teams were unsure of where they were going, and even I was. I always thought kickoff out of bounds was to the 40, but we are on the 35 as Jackson Smith takes the shotgun formation here, about to take his first snap in a Firebird uniform at home. Big part of the Friday Night Lights experience playing at home. It's never the same on the road, so as you said, fantastic that we're able to be back here even if it is week 2.
Yeah, something to look out for are these lights when it starts to get darker, but nothing to see right now. We'll wait till that sun sets and then we'll have some fun.
And of course, we did lose an hour, so it is going to get dark very quickly, which in my opinion makes things even more fun. You don't have to wait to the end of the year to get those full Friday Night Light games. Jackson Smith takes the shotgun here after switching hash marks. Junior Gonzalez, the back out to his right. This is going to be a handoff up the middle. Gonzalez finding a hole. He's got the first across the 50, and a big hit there, but he's able to pick up the first down and a lot more before Kevin Jordan able to knock him down in Viking territory.
Tough run right there. That was a really hard run from Junior Gonzalez. Again, that's what you're going to see all game. That's what you're going to get him are these tough runs. He's hard to bring down. St. X had trouble, but, man, these Princeton Vikings are going to have their hands full today.
Ball will be spotted here just up past the 50, almost the 49 of Vikings territory, as Gonzalez is going to take this one too, although it will be blown up in the backfield about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. A 2nd and 15 on the way for the Firebirds.
That was Stephen Neesmith, known as Gino, on the tackle, senior defensive end. Nice play.
Neesmith last week a sack and 2 tackles for loss, and he gains another TFL on that tackle. Smith once again in shotgun. It's Gonzalez to his right. Snap taken here, back to throw for the first time, overthrown, intended for the tight end, Luka Gilbert.
Yeah, not a great start for the passing game, but again, young guy, young game. We're only a couple plays in, so I mean, look for him to make those adjustments and see if we can convert this 3rd and long here.
22 passes at the high school level isn't a ton when you've never played there before. So, again, you look at the completion numbers. That doesn't really seem to be telling the whole story of what we've seen from him. A lot of it, too, is just adjusting to the high school play calling, the high school reads. It's a true jump.
Yep.
Smith takes a snap here, 3rd and long. We'll see if they throw again. He will. Smith looks deep. That to Trey Barnett, Viking defender, playing tight defense there. It will be incomplete with no flags. Donovan Favors able to break that one up.
Yeah, Favors, that was great coverage by him. I mean, you got to give credit where credit was due. Decent ball, but I mean, you can't fit that in there. That was Favors was all on that one.
I was Trey Barnett for the Firebirds, who has yet to come up with his first reception in a Firebird uniform, the recent transfer from Dixie Heights, a standout in last year's Kentucky high school football world. Out for the punt here at Firebird uniform is Marquardt. Boot is up and away, a fantastic punt, and a fair catch called for near interference from Minnick. They'll have it at about the 23-yard line of their own territory. We're going to take a quick step aside. We'll be right back. West on defense for the first time at home this year. The Princeton Vikings out for their first offensive possession of this game after the fair catch from the Marquardt punt. And the man under center for the Vikings here today, number 18, D'Angelo Birch, who just completed his first game playing varsity football last week. And he did pretty solid, only attempted 7 passes. He landed 5 of them, so obviously completion percentage is there. And he landed 2 touchdowns in there as well, both coming in the final 4 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, they'll definitely be passing the ball sometime today.
And he was not out under center there. It will be a false start. Or sorry, he was. I misread the 18 as an 11. I thought that was a Wildcat package, but he did take the snap there. These numbers, very hard to see when he got bright red numbers on a very dark day.
That's right. Something to point out right here. They had 7 different guys touch the ball last week on the rushing side. So they're going to be rushing the ball a lot. You'll see a lot of jet sweeps, a lot of H-back formations, a lot of motion from receivers. They're going to try to mix up this defense. They're not trying to beat them through the air. They're going to beat them on the ground.
Birch in shotgun here, back out to his left, back to pass. Pressure being brought from the Firebirds. Pass is complete downfield. Wasn't able to get a number there. That is 19. That is Landon Meary, who had a reception last week of 11 yards. And there is a flag out on that play as well. And it looks like Princeton backing up.
Yeah, it looks like a holding there. Not quite. Can't see who it was. But I know the teammates were getting after each other, so we know it's coming back.
Princeton continuing to back up here. And new this year to Firebird Field, we just found out they got the refs mic'd up. That was something we were asking about last year. They didn't have the refs mic'd up. We could never tell what the flags were, but hey, now we got them.
That's a cool feature.
So Princeton working with a 1st and 20 on the way.
Yeah, this is a tough spot right here. You just go with what your best play is at this point.
Snap taken, handoff, ran to the left side. On the rush there, that is number 25, David Hambrick, who had 49 yards on 11 carries last week.
That was great work by Grant Bierman on the edge right there. He really contained that. That wasn't going nowhere. He had one arm on the shoulder pad, other arm was free. Great containment, great play.
And Bierman, one of those guys, I don't see it on him from where we are today, but usually you see a couple pictures of last year where he has that club on one of his hands. Very useful for batting out that football.
Yeah, I remember that. He definitely used that a lot.
Birch comes out here with a back out to his left. It's Hambrick. 2nd and 18 on the way. And we have a whistle here. It will be a timeout, Princeton. We're going to take a quick step aside with them. We'll be right back just after this. Back from Firebird Field here, a 2nd and 18 on the way for the Vikings. We do apologize having a few more technical difficulties with that scoreboard. We are getting that fixed, but Princeton taking their first time out of the half. This play ran to the left side, blown up by the Firebirds defensive line.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Again, that's what you're going to see all night. It's going to be those jet sweeps. But if the Firebirds are moving down the line and they're attacking the ball quick and filling up those gaps, I can't see them getting anything on anything. So this is this is 3rd and forever. So we'll see what they have in the book here with the routes. But I'm not sure what they could go to right here.
3rd and 17 is what they're going to call it down on the field here with about 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. Vikings taking their time in the huddle here. Of course, when you have a 3rd and 17 like this, it's never easy to come up with a play that you know is going to get you a first down. But what do you think we'll see from them here?
Not too sure. This might.
You have a
sure. Oh, knee pad issue.
Whistle blown by the ref. Yeah, I think you're right. That does look like an equipment issue as we get a late substitution here from the whistle.
That's always frustrating. Interesting formation here. Look a little confused.
I think it's still an issue with the ref, although Princeton does start to break the huddle here. Snap taken here, and a handoff to the left side. That is once again David Hambrook off to the left as West forces a 3 and out with the help of a few penalties.
Man, that defense, they look good right there. I will say, that Firebird defense looked good. They were flowing on the ball real well. I didn't see any miscommunications. And that D-line is really swallowing it up. And when they swallow it up, that opens it up for the backers. And the backers are in there quick. So, I mean, that's just a great defensive possession right there from the Firebirds.
4th and 15, so they'll call it a 2-yard gain down on the field. Punt unit is out for Princeton. Jordan Houston will take to the punt here. Had 2 punts last week, 78 yards, and a penalty flag down.
Encroachment. Little mental error there. Still 4th and a long way.
4th and 10, only a 5-yard penalty for encroachment. If you heard the PA guy there, Brennan Remy back deep for the Firebirds. Dangerous returner. Fair catch called for here at the 35-yard line of Firebirds territory. And the Firebirds come out for their second go of things on offense. What do you think they can learn from their first time out on the field tonight?
Well, I think we got a penalty flag down first. They could get a roughing the kicker here. There was some contact back there.
It very much depends on whether it's running into or roughing the kicker. This could make or break things, and it is roughing the kicker. That's going to be an automatic first down for the Vikings.
That, I said before, the offsides or encroachment was a mental error. That's a bigger mental error because that gives them a first down, I believe. That moves the chains. They haven't moved the ball forward except with these flags. So, I mean, if they could just tighten up the mental errors, I can't see them moving the ball that often.
Penalties are usually a game of give and take. It was given a lot for the Firebirds. Came up with a 4th and 15, encroachment, roughing the kicker. And here we are, another first down here for Princeton. Not another, it is their first down of the game other than what they started with. Now 7:51 on the game clock. They will come out to their own 38-yard line for a new set of downs.
Yeah, we'll see what they'll do here. Not too sure, really, because that was a bit of an experimental first possession. This is still the first possession, but this is probably a run right here.
Birch comes out with Hambrick to his left. Birch going to keep this one run up to the 45-yard line, gains most of the chains on that run as the Vikings keep moving forward.
I will say the quarterback run, the history of Lakota West and shutting that down has been, I would say, their biggest weakness. They don't really have a weakness, but if they had a couple yards to show, the quarterback run, even through Fairfield last year, it's a tough stop.
Birch on the ground last week, 3 carries, only 2 yards on the ground, so he's already bested his total from last week.
Wow.
2nd down and 3 on the way. It looks like we do have another timeout called for here by the officials. Looks like there was a loose piece of equipment on the field. Looks like a mouth guard from Finn Mason as he gets tossed another one.
Come on, Finn.
Vikings break the huddle lineup here. 2nd and 3 on the way. Birch, the lone man in the backfield. This one, a quick screen out into the flat left side, and it will be hit right at about the line to gain. Will they give them the first? It looks like they're going to call this 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was Asbeck out there in the flats. He made a great play, shed that blocker, made the tackle, kept them short. So they got a big opportunity here, get off the field, and hopefully not make a mental error here.
3rd and 1, generally where the Firebirds defense excels when you look at this defensive front. Elijah Davis, Gabe Flores up there. This is a handoff up the middle. Here goes Hambrick, and he's breaking through many tackles here, nearly to the 40-yard line of Firebirds territory. He's going to get to about the 42. Another new set of downs for the Vikings.
Yeah, he's a shifty guy. He made a couple nice cuts right there. Found the hole. I mean, all you need is 1 yard. I mean, he got plenty of it. So they continue to move the chains, but, man, I still don't see it yet.
From the Firebirds 42, about 6 minutes, 15 seconds on the game clock here at Firebird Field. That run nearly blown up, but it's a keeper. Faked out Elijah Davis, who tackled Hambrick in the backfield.
That was as perfect as a defensive play you can run, because you got the end right there. His responsibility is that inside run if he does hand the ball off on the option, and the edge right there, or the jack, has responsible for the outside containment with the QB, and they played that perfectly. So there's nothing more you can ask right there. They got the loss of gain. I mean, what more can you ask for?
And you mentioned Jacob Asbeck there playing that jack position. They call it the jack for a reason, the jack of all trades, and that is definitely Jacob Asbeck, as this is another keeper. Birch takes it up the middle. Bierman, one of the Firebirds, in to make that stop along with Finn Mason. 3rd down and about 7 on the way for the Vikings.
Another quarterback option. Once they see they get a couple yards on that, they'll probably milk that for a while. Don't know how long, but eventually they'll stop it and they'll find something. But for now, if they're going to run the option, they're going to keep running it. So 3rd and about 6, 7 right here. Most likely going to be a pass. Curious to see what the route concepts they'll come up with right here.
Birch takes to the backfield. Handoff up the middle. Blown up instantly. Too many Firebirds to name on that one, but Gabe Flores leading the way. And it is a 4th and long here from about the 40-yard line of Firebirds territory.
Nice defensive stop right there, but don't know about that play call. I don't know about that play call. I know they're going to try to beat West through the ground, but on a 3rd and 7, 6 or 7 right there, I mean, that's almost past territory. Like that's past territory. So interesting play call, but Firebirds get the ball back. Offense gets an opportunity right here.
40-yard line too far for a field goal. 4th down and 9 yards too long to go for it. So Jordan Houston and the punt team will be out here as we have another official timeout. Looks like a few substitutions taking place here late.
Junior Carson Fan, last minute run out right there.
Brennan Remy, the man once again back deep here for the Firebirds. Houston averaging 39 yards a punt last week. As Brennan going to let this one bounce to the end zone, and it will. So the Firebirds coming out at the 20-yard line. We're going to take a quick step aside. We'll be right back with their 2nd offensive drive of the game after this. Firebirds back on the field, and so is Jackson Smith here. As he will take to the shotgun once again. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It's gone by really fast, as they tend to here early in the season, especially when you are at home. We'll see what the freshman able to get the Firebirds going with on this drive. Fakes the handoff, throws across the middle. There's Trey Barnett. The Dixie Heights transfer Will he have the first? It depends on where it gets spotted. It's real close. But there he is, Trey Barnett. His first reception as a Firebird. What can you tell us about this kid, Jordan?
I mean, it's another. He's a playmaker. That's all I can really say. He's a Brett and Remy play type, as I said last week. He's a quick, shifty guy. He's definitely a slot receiver, if anything. But once in a while, you'll see him go for a deep route.
Play fake here in the backfield from Smith. He gets blown up about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, those past two plays, I want to say, even though the last play was a good completion for a first down, the backfield kind of looks, I don't want to say out of order, but a little confusion back there. There was a little confusion back there between the running back and the quarterback. But again, I mean, second and long right here. Not sure what you can do. Probably give one deep here. I'd say you let it fly right here.
Eventually, Smith gonna have to start taking to the air. We'll see how long it takes to kind of adapt to that new feel of high school football. As Gonzalez motioning out wide left here, Smith looking to pass, throws to the big man, Luca Gilbert. Rumbling, nearly has that first down at the 40-yard line. He'll be brought down at about the 37 or 38, and Coach Bolden having a word with the refs on that sideline as a penalty flag is out.
That was a vicious hit. I don't know. I didn't see 100% of it, but what I saw from here, that was a pretty violent hit. So they could go targeting right here. I don't know.
Could go targeting, could go unnecessary roughness on a late hit. Seems like the past few years, the Firebirds very familiar with targeting calls on their first home game of the year. Last year, it was Malik Hartford. Of course, that was overturned, not targeting. A good, clean hit that you can still go back and look at, and it still amazes me. He had it on the dot. That is a targeting call, which OHSAA will review all targeting calls, and should it come back that it was indeed targeting, that will result in a suspension. That player is ejected for the rest of this game. Not entirely sure what the number was on that. We'll have to double check.
Yeah, I didn't see a number right there, but all I saw was a very violent hit. And Luca was falling down. He's a big guy, so it takes a while for him to fall down. And I just saw his head snap back right there.
Wildcat formation here. This is Braden Johnson running up the middle, and another big hit. Princeton all over the Firebirds tonight on defense.
Yeah, that's the little secret. Spill the beans right there. Braden Johnson on the Wildcat. But again, not a terrible gain. It's just, he's a really young guy as well. He only got 2 carries last week. And
having some light issues here. Looks like we might get a little bit of a delay. 2 minutes remain in the quarter, and the fans go crazy. Of course, the touchdown lighting here is the West Side Erupts.
Wow.
It may be week 2 when you come back at home for the first time. Its phrase still stands, week 1 for everybody.
Yeah, we're not the only ones with technical difficulties. I'll tell you that.
So a timeout of sorts here for the Firebirds. 2nd and 8 on the way after the 2-yard pickup from Braden Johnson. And what can you tell us about Johnson? He stole the show on that JV football game last week we covered against St. X. You can still go back and watch it. That one Firebird touchdown came on a huge run of his. Can we be looking forward to this kid on the offensive side of the ball? What's he going to bring?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he's a future star running back for the Firebirds. He's someone to look forward to in the future. He runs hard, but he gives you that stiff arm and agility that the other backs in the backfield don't give you. Again, he's not fully developed yet, but he's just going to be somebody to watch out for in the future. They're going to develop him really well, and he'll turn into a really nice ball player for the future.
Looks like both teams breaking the huddles here. Back after the quick light timeout here at Firebird Field. A 2nd and 8 on the way. Smith takes to the backfield here. Gonzalez to his right. 3 out wide, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Luca Gilbert, the man in motion, over to the left. Smith back to throw. Finds Gonzalez, and he is blown up. A vicious hit, multiple flags. Are we going to see another huge penalty here? That's unsportsmanlike conduct. We can see that call from here.
Oh, boy. Watch out. Getting a little chippy down there. Watch out.
See where the Firebirds end up going here. Flags did come out there. The ball has not moved yet. There we go, personal foul. The Firebirds start to march forward.
They continue to do it. I mean, as much as West is making mental mistakes, so is Princeton. That's leading with the head twice. You just can't do that in a game like this at such high stakes. These are two of the best, or some of the best teams in the GMC. And this is a high stakes game that you can't be making those mental mistakes in.
Of course, Princeton just as highly an anticipated team as the Firebirds are this year. Smith quick fire out to Brennan Remy on the Firebirds sideline, who stays on his feet, tries to make a push for that 20-yard line. You'll at least get most of the chains there. It's a 2nd and short on the way for Lakota West.
He was fighting for those yards right there. You can see, I mean, he's an aggressive player, and he's going to be fighting for every yard he can get, and that's just the mindset he has at wide receiver. What he brings to the table is it's just so different than every wide receiver you see normally. He's a smaller guy, but he packs a big punch.
3 receivers out wide to the right here for Lakota West as Sam Wiles will step in at quarterback for the Firebirds here. Hands this one off up the middle. He keeps it. Play fake. Runs down the left sideline inside the red zone. Out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. A big first down inside the red zone as the Firebirds continue to move the football. Could this be touchdown number 1?
Yeah, as much as you see a dual threat quarterback and Jackson Smith, someone to watch out for a little bit is Sam Wiles. He can really run the ball. He's a great athlete. He played DB last year, and he's called back to that quarterback spot. He's just a great athlete. The arm talent is still developing, but he's just such a good athlete that it really doesn't matter what you do with him, whether it's an option or a quick pass.
4 wide as Gonzalez motions right. Sam Wiles keeps it up the middle, inside the 10, the 5. Tries to make a push, not quite going to get there, but the ball spotted. It's going to be on the 5-yard line, right where that line to gain is. That might be a 1st and goal upcoming for the Firebirds. It looks like they're going to call it 2nd and a little less than a yard. As Wiles continues to stay in the huddle here, Firebirds making an executive decision on this drive to switch up personnel. As we do have a whistle called for here, I do believe it was a timeout Princeton. And it will be a Princeton timeout, their 2nd called timeout of the half, with just about 30 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. So we're going to take a step aside with them. We'll be right back. Firebirds knocking on the door of their first points this year when we come back. Back from the 6-yard line here at Firebird Field. Our first time back and the first time that West is knocking on the door of a score this season. Sam Wiles continues to stay in the game at quarterback. High snap. Gonna fake the handoff here, and he's wrapped up at the 10-yard line.
Probably should have handed that ball off, but this is his first game experience at the varsity level. So, I mean, unless you talk about garbage time last year, but again, I don't think anybody's counting that. Here comes Jackson Smith back onto the field. You know, Princeton had to take that timeout when West is rolling like that. When they get in a rhythm, it's nearly impossible to stop. And that's why they took that timeout there. But again, Sam Wiles coming in doing his job. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. He did it. He did his job as a running quarterback. He's set the offense up, knocking on the door right here.
3rd down and 7. Smith fakes the jet sweep handoff there for Wilson. Brendan Remy inside the 5. He's got the first down. Not quite to the end zone for the score, but a big first down and goal up and coming for the Firebirds as they continue to roll.
Yeah, he made a great move right there. Got the screen, caught the tunnel screen. Excuse me, not a tunnel screen, but he caught the screen right there. Made a guy miss, and he sets the offense up on the 4-yard line.
And it looks like we have a timeout here. It looks like a Lakota West timeout, so a bunch of timeouts coming up here as of late. Coach Bolden probably wanting to talk things over with his team inside the 5-yard line. We're going to take a quick step aside with him. We'll be right back from about the 3-yard line here at Lakota West when we return. Back from Firebird Field, and we had a bit of a scoreboard malfunction as we go back to week 1 for seemingly everybody. There is a Viking down in the end zone where the Firebirds just were, but West did not take their timeout, and they will move down to the other end. A fresh 12 minutes put on the clock. Unfortunately, the start to the second quarter will begin on a bit of a darker note here as the Vikings have multiple training staff in that end zone walking that Viking off the field. We don't have a number, but it looks like he is walking off on his own weight. It's never fun to see injuries, especially this early in the season. And the Firebirds here walking back to their sideline. We've had a couple of clock issues so far. Looks like another official's timeout. Not sure if it correlates to the injury.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, everybody's on the struggle bus week 1 back at home, whether it's the scoreboard guys, the light guys, us. I mean, maybe even the officials. I mean, not yet, but, everybody's got their mishaps. But, all the zebras are down on the left side of the field while everybody is setting up on the right side of the field. So, not sure what's going on right here. They're talking to Bolden.
They are moving that ball over. They had it set on the opposite 2-yard line for the longest time, but they are starting to run this ball over to where both teams are standing inside the 5-yard line.
I'll tell you what, if we play at this pace, we might be here all night.
Doesn't help when you start an hour late, although I will say I am liking a bit more of the lights here early on in the season. I don't know about you. I'm a bit of a fan of games starting at 8.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, once the sun goes down earlier, I guess, so we don't have to be staring at the blistering sun from our booth. It's a nice adjustment. But again, we got another official's timeout.
And we did have somebody walking through the press box here looking for the clock operator, so it looks like the scoreboard issues yet to be solved. Both teams walking towards their sidelines. We're going to take a quick step aside when they sort out all this clock information. We'll be back. Ball spotted on the 2, a big play still being pushed off for these Firebirds. Huddles are starting to break here at Firebird Field, and as I say that, Wes starts walking back towards their sideline. It appears as if the clock issue is resolved. We have not seen a change, although the coaching staff who is up here trying to communicate the issue has gone back down from the looks of it. And now it looks like the timeout is continuing as it was. Not entirely sure. The ref's still conferring here on that Princeton sideline. You see that whole group of coaches over there, and now the Vikings starting to walk back towards their sideline. We're going to take another quick step aside here. Not sure how long this issue is going to take to resolve, but needless to say, we will be back at some point, hopefully tonight, with the remaining coverage of this game. Whistles have sounded, and both teams are now officially lined up at the 2. And here we go. PA starting to make announcements again. It looks like we are back. First down and goal from the 2-yard line. Jackson Smith, the man in shotgun for the Firebirds. He's got Junior Gonzalez behind him. Snap taken by Smith. Handoff up the middle. Gonzalez makes a push for the goal line. And a big stop there for the Princeton defensive front.
Yeah, Princeton played run all the way on that play. They knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. But see if they mix it up right here. And here comes Braden Johnson, so they are going to mix it up. Here comes that wildcat formation we saw earlier. They're definitely going to try and push it and see maybe they can throw this Princeton defense off just for a couple yards.
Braden Johnson, if you go back and watch that JV football game, he had a couple carries on varsity last week, but he really stole the show. I've never seen a man shed more tackles in my life than he did in that game. So we'll see how powerful he is, especially alongside Gonzalez. This one from the 4-yard line after the loss of 2. Here goes Johnson up the middle. Fight for the goal line. Looks like he's down at the 1, maybe the 1.5. As the Firebirds keep getting stonewalled inside the 3.
Just short. I mean, he looked like he had it. He was running hard. He looked really fast on that one. But, man.
Here comes Sam Wiles, Braden Johnson off.
Boy.
Little bit of quarterback carousel going on here mid-game.
Maybe an RPO right here. You want to go to probably your best play right here. Whether that's that short pass you trust all the time, or if you really wanted to, you can hand one up the middle to Junior. See if he can power his way through that offensive line. But again, this is probably what you go for right here. This is your best play.
And we have a whistle here from the refs, and this is going to be a Lakota West timeout. They take their first of the half as this drive keeps dragging on. The suspense is real from Firebird Field. We'll take another quick stop. We'll be right back with hopefully the finale of this drive in just a few moments. Back from the 2-yard line of Firebird Field. Out at the quarterback position is Sam Wiles. The back to his left, Junior Gonzalez. Snap taken. Wiles off to the left side. Much pressure in the backfield, and he's brought down at the 6-yard line. Another loss of yards, and the Firebirds looking like they're going to have to settle for a field goal on what started as a 1st and goal inside the 5.
Man, that's tough. That's a tough play call right there. The Princeton defense did a great job swarming to the ball right there. They were all there. I mean, the D-line, linebackers, DBs, you name it. They were there. They just got to give credit where credit's due. Nice defensive stop. See if we can put 3 points on the board here. That'll give a lot of cushion to this defense. I know it's not a lot, but in this game and how they're playing, it's a lot of cushion.
Braden Benner out to kick here. Wiles the holder. Snap from the left hash up. Kick is good. And the Firebirds score their first 3 of the year. 3-0 here from Lakota West High School. We'll come back. Princeton looking to retaliate with 9:30 remaining in the half. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the coverage of tonight's game here on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Taking you along the way tonight, I'm Nick Johnson, alongside our fantastic analyst Jordan Hauk here. And we do want to let you guys know that the 45th annual Lakota West Craft Show is just a little over a month away here on October 7th and 8th. All proceeds from the craft show benefit student programs. Student and parent volunteers are needed to make this craft show a success. Visit the craft show on Facebook at Lakota West PTSO Craft Show for more information. As we are off from Firebird Field, kick taken in the end zone, and the fair catch will be called. Princeton coming out at the 25-yard line.
Strong kick there from Braden. I mean, you really backed him up to his own end zone there, forced him to call that fair catch. Now the Princeton offense here, you know, there's only been a couple things working, and when they get in that rhythm, it's immediately shut down by this West defense. And whether that's the quarterback option or these short passes to the flats, they're on it. I mean, the West defense is all over it. So I'm really curious to see what they go with. Do they continue to do what kind of works and just to milk it and really try and live off that, or do they go to something brand new?
Handbrake in the backfield here with Birch. Motioning across the side here as a fake handoff will happen up there by the line of scrimmage as Birch going to wrestle forward, gain of about 4. Antonio Hunter was that man in motion. Firebirds not really fooled there, but Birch able to keep fighting forward, gain of about 4 or 5.
Yeah, he was wrapped up on about a 2-yard gain, and he really pushed forward for those extra 3-4 yards right there. So good on him. He's got he showed good grit right there.
We were talking about it in the pregame. Princeton going to want to win this game on the ground, and so far we've seen exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably see another run right here.
Birch going to keep it yet again, and this time he'll be wrapped up at about the 25-yard line, about a yard shy of where that line of scrimmage was. I did misspeak. The ball came out to the 20 on the touchback, so we're looking at about a 3rd and 5 here. The ball spotted on the 25 and a half. We'll call it 3rd and 4.
Yeah, this is a big 3rd down right here. This could shift the momentum, or it could just stop it right there and have the Firebirds momentum rolling here. So this is a big play just for a momentum standpoint with about 8:20 left in the second.
3rd and 4 on the way. Birch takes to the backfield here again. Handbrake behind him. Fake handoff. Birch going to keep it. Rolls out to his left. Pass will be incomplete. Intended for Landon Meary out there on the run in the flat.
Good pressure there from the jack position again. That's number 11. That's Jacob Asbeck. He's everywhere. I'll tell you what, he is everywhere. He's forcing these plays, and he got in D'Angelo's face, and he made him make a tough throw, and that's what happens. The ball can slip out of your hand. It can't be a spiral. That was not a catchable ball whatsoever. So great pressure there from number 11.
7 total tackles for Asbeck last week. He's just getting heated up here so far today. He's had a fantastic game, as you mentioned, as the punt unit once again out for Princeton. This West defense continues to hold strong.
Yeah, he's always done a great job. He's a great person on and off the field.
Punt here from Houston goes deep for Brennan Remy. Fair caught at about the 35-yard line for the Firebirds. We'll take a quick step aside. Firebirds look to continue driving when we return. Back with more Firebird football as the offense once again out. It'll be Jackson Smith taking to the quarterback position this time, and I say that because we saw 3 different quarterbacks on the last drive, a wildcat look with Braden Johnson, and then Sam Wiles coming out for some red zone snaps.
Yeah, like I said in the pregame, it's a lot of different stuff you're going to see here.
Handoff here. This one goes to Gonzalez, loses the football. And it looks like that will be recovered by the Firebirds, a gain of about 1. There was no flag on the play. They were possession markers.
Man, that could have been a big turning point. Glad he was able to fall on it, but man, that could have been huge.
2nd and 9 could be a lot worse right now for the Firebirds. Could be 1st and 10 the other way. Smith out in the shotgun here. He'll have Gonzalez the back to his right. 3 stacked out wide left for the Firebirds. Smith to throw, under pressure, looks for Giovanni Wilson, incomplete. Overthrown to the right side.
Yeah, that left side of the D-line got good pressure there, got in his face, forced another bad throw. Again, that's just a tough spot when you got 2 hands in your face, and the guy you're going up against is 6'4", and it's a tough throw, and you saw it right there. That's hard to make those throws.
Firebirds coming up with a 3rd and 9 play call here. They've had some luck with 3rd downs, it feels like, as of late on that last drive. We'll see if they keep things continuing.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they go here. 3rd and long. This is you use your best route concepts. A little confusion with the wide receivers.
And we have a timeout called here. It will be a Lakota West timeout. They take their 2nd called timeout of the half. We'll step aside with them. Right back after this, 3rd and 9, Lakota West on the way. Jackson Smith and the Firebirds back out here. 3rd and 9 on the way. Firebirds working from their own 36-yard line after picking up their first 3 points of the year on their last possession.
You see this trips bunch. Still some confusion out there.
It looks very similar to the last formation they were in before the timeout, and now they break it up here. Yeah, still trips bunch this time out left.
Yeah, what you'll see out of this is probably something to Luca.
Smith takes a snap on the run, throws, looks for Barnett, through the hands, incomplete.
Yeah, he was there. It's just it's just a connection game. That's at that point it's just a connection game, but it was there. That was really there.
Firebirds punt unit comes out for just the second time today. 7 minutes, 4 seconds remain in half number one. Firebirds lead 3-0 over their GMC rival, the Princeton Vikings. And you know, this West schedule, we've talked about this the first 3 weeks. The first 3 weeks have been the big story for a lot longer than 3 weeks. It feels like 7 months we've been talking about this first 3 weeks. You start off with the St. Xavier Bombers. Of course, that game, unfortunate loss for the Firebirds, 10-0. Now you got Princeton this week, and next week the Firebirds going up against the Fairfield Indians. How important is it for these Firebirds to come up with a win tonight?
It's detrimental, I'll be honest. And the X game is not as important as these games, as the GMC stands, as is a great boot from Joe. Oh, and he muffs it. Oh, yeah.
Firebirds hop on the football. That's Micah Markley. West saying they have it. They do.
That's great awareness by Micah. Butterfingers, and he just dropped it. Got the ball back.
What a momentum shift at Firebird Field. You feel that home field advantage now. Have yourself a game. Micah Markley coming up with that muffed punt. That was a fantastic punt, too. Let's not talk about that punt. Fantastic hang time on that thing. You make it really difficult for them to catch. And it looks like Coach Bolton over on the sideline getting a little upset. I don't see flags on the field.
Oh, boy.
But the referee's conferring. You can only wonder what this is. Maybe conferring over whether or not possession was had, as the Firebirds defense is now running out onto the field.
I'll be honest, not 100% sure what the call is. I don't think I saw a flag. I'm guessing it's a possession thing.
Yeah, not entirely sure. It looked like Micah Markley came up with that football perfectly clean.
It's funny, you see that ref on the far sideline signal that it was West ball, and the judge in the middle had to correct him. So I think a couple other people were surprised.
Not entirely sure what's going on here. I mean, Micah Markley, it looked like he came up with that football. He was running with it on the west sideline, but Princeton going to stay with possession here. You can hear all the yells on this west sideline. Not entirely sure. We're going to keep an eye out for an explanation there. This handoff ran to the left side. That's David Hambrick once again getting across the Princeton 40.
It's just an example of a momentum swing and how it can change the game. And, you know, if West got that ball back, you already know they were going to score. They had the crowd up. The offense is starting to look pretty good. And it changed all that. And the Princeton offense is now coming out here looking sharper, I should say. So we'll see if maybe they can continue rolling and see if this defense can get a stop here.
8-yard carry there, and this is one of the rare times where you see both sides of the momentum swing. You get to see what it would be like on both sides as we see another run here, this one to the right side. And it'll be Fitzpatrick once again on the carry for the Princeton Vikings. We talked about the big game he had last week. Hasn't done much yet tonight. We'll see where that ball gets spotted. It looks like it's going to be right back at the line of scrimmage, so a 3rd and 2 will be on the way for the Vikings. This could be a big stop here for Lakota West.
Yeah, West has done a really good job of shutting down Fitzgerald? Fitzpatrick. Thank you for that. They've done a really good job of shutting him down. I know he went off last week, but, I mean, he's really done absolutely nothing today. So this is a big 3rd down here, and we got a timeout by Princeton.
And that'll be their final timeout of the half. Many timeouts taken so far. Still 5.5 minutes remain in the half. We'll be back with the remainder of play in the first half after this. 3rd and short on the way for the Princeton Vikings, as for the first time in what feels like forever, the Lakota West band playing in the background. 3rd and 2 on the way. Birch in the backfield here, hands it off. Hambrick easily with the first down, pushes across the 50 to the 49, and he is finally dropped by multiple Firebird defenders.
Yeah, he's running hard. That was a tough run right there. Again, he was stopped maybe two yards after the gain, and he just barreled through a couple guys. Sometimes it's just that grit that gets you those couple yards. So we'll see if this defense can get a stop here.
And we've seen that quite a few times here from Princeton today, just keeping that momentum going, hitting the ground running, pushing through a lot of these defenders. Birch snap here, fakes the handoff, pitch to the backfield, wrapped up by the ankles by Asbeck, but he's able to stay on his feet. Fantastic elusivity here from Jordan Fitzpatrick. He's only able to get about 2 or 3 yards on the carry, but he would have lost about 4 there if Asbeck would have had him by the ankles.
Yeah, although he missed the tackle right there, that was still great coverage on the triple option. I mean, everything worked right there. And Asbeck kept on his toes and almost made a play, but again, he forced that. He was 100% in that. So sets up a 2nd and 8 right here. Curious to see what they go to.
2nd and 8, not the worst case scenario. What could have been there? As Birch in the backfield here, under pressure from Elijah Davis. He's going to step up and run with it to the right side. Gets to the 45-yard line, gain of about 3. 3rd and 5 on the way.
Oh, man. That was a hard hit by Micah Markley right there. Flag there, and a flag on Bolden here on this near sideline. That is not a good sign.
Oh, and Bolden slamming the headset. That's never a good sign. You can see the pure frustration coming from this coaching staff.
Yeah, Bolden, one of the more, I would say, animated head coaches.
So it's a legal helmet contact, but then it looks like maybe a separate flag on Bolden. I don't know if it would go as a penalty or not. But, I mean, we all saw him slam down that headset. We could probably hear it from up here.
Yeah.
Is this another time to maybe look out for some chairs in the locker room?
Well, I wouldn't say so yet. I think the offense is doing a good job so far. Defense is doing excellent as of now. I mean, this is the farthest they've been in West Territory.
Birch going to hand this one off. It's David Hambrick, who's blown up behind the line of scrimmage. And, of course, we do want to know, Coach Bolden is a fantastic coach. This is not meant to be any sort of insult to him. He's a fantastic coach, a fantastic human being. Like you said, just very animated and very interesting to watch some of the stuff that goes on that sideline.
Absolutely. That's what makes him so great. He's a legendary guy. I mean, he's one of the fathers of Cincinnati high school football, whether that's through Colerain or through West. He's done a great job.
Birch the snap here, under pressure, fires across the middle. Incomplete, intended there for Antonio Hunter. Hunter last week, 1 reception for 1 yard, but his time to shine came in the punt return game. 103 punt return yards, and he was able to scrape a touchdown out of that as well. If you have a chance to go check that out on the huddle tape, my goodness, what a return that was.
Yeah, I haven't seen the huddle tape yet, I'm going to be honest, but just judging by his character and how he's played today, he's a shifty guy. He just looks like a playmaker. That's a guy you just send back there. You have 100% confidence that he could really break one.
3rd and 11. Birch back to pass. Under pressure from Thomas and Elijah Davis, thrown across the middle, tip ball, and it hits the turf, incomplete. No flags down. 4th and 11 on the way for the Vikings.
Great coverage right there on the secondary. I believe that was Tay Braun. That was Bakari Miles in on that. But that was great coverage by that secondary right there. They closed that hole fast. That window was there for that throw, but you know, he's not a perfect accuracy quarterback. So that's pretty much impossible throw for a quarterback of his style. So I'm curious to see what Princeton does here. They're staying on the field. Don't know if that's the punt unit or not.
I do see Jordan Houston out there, but it looked like he moved back towards the sideline as they take their time, and a flag down in the backfield here for delay of game. Looks like they're going to back up their punting unit just a little bit here. To me, that looks intentional. I would have to think that's intentional. So they're going to take the extra 5 yards of wiggle room here for Jordan Houston to boot this ball.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was probably planned, going to be honest. Maybe a little ingenious move because they're probably comfortable with him more comfortable with him punting from the 37 than they are inside that or close to that red zone. That's a tough punt. Those pooch punts are a lot tougher than what punters make them to be, so he gets a lot more room to work with right here.
And we've seen the leg he's working with so far tonight. Some of these punts traveling for miles as he gets a lot of hang time here. This almost looks shanked as it takes a very friendly Princeton bounce to the 10-yard line here. It will finally be marked down. So the Firebirds taking over at about the 11-yard line, maybe 10 of their own territory. A smart choice to take the delay of game call here, as we're going to take a quick step aside as we change teams here at Firebird Field. 3:04 remaining in the half. From the 11-yard line of Firebird territory, 1st and 10, as the Firebirds have continued their dominant defensive stretch that we've seen all year long. Of course, 10 points allowed last week, but against a St. X team, that's some sort of feat as we see Smith, the quarterback, out here, hands it off to Gonzalez with lots of room on that left sideline, able to pick up about half of the chains, maybe more on that carry. A flag down on the field.
I believe that is coming back. I believe that was a holding. Ticky-tacky holding, but they're going to get him for it.
He did find a hole very, very quickly on that play. It looked like it was broken, and then suddenly a path cleared, so it would stand to reason. We'll see where this ball gets spotted. Now marching inside the 10. 5-yard holding penalty will take it to the 7-yard line here. 1st and 15 on the way.
That holding penalty is by Luka Gilbert. Doesn't usually make mistakes like that, but I mean, when he makes a mistake like that, you kind of got to capitalize on it because it doesn't happen often. Happen often. I'm really twisting up my words tonight. I'm going to be honest. But this is a 1st and forever. This is not a great spot. I'm going to be honest. And you're inside your own 10. You've got 90 plus yards to go, and we haven't put together a really complete drive yet. So we'll see what happens here.
Flags down, looks like full start, and it will be.
Man.
Multiple mistakes here from the Firebirds. As from the 7-yard line, 5-yard penalty will take them back to the 2. 1st and 20 from your own 2-yard line, not necessarily the place you want to be. They're actually going to put that half the distance to the goal, so it won't quite be 20, but not exactly far off either. 1st and 18 from the 3.
Yeah, that went from bad to worse. I'm gonna be honest. That's not a good mental error right there to have, especially when you're inside your own 5 now. So now you just made it a whole heck of a lot harder for your offense. Puts a lot more stress on the guys.
Smith in the backfield. Gonzalez to his right, and another pre-snap flag.
They could get delay a game right here.
And it is. Half the distance again, so at some point these penalties stop doing something. You're at the 1.5-yard line here now, as we do officially get 1st and 20. 3 flags in a row on this West offense.
Yeah, you don't want to have these flags, especially when you're inside your own 2 now.
They've ran one play and it's been called back. Smith hands it off in the end zone here. Here goes Gonzalez, able to get up to the 3-yard line, gain of 1.
Junior, he's just trying to do what he can out there. As we'll see Sam Wiles trot back out for Jackson Smith, so you can anticipate probably either an option or some sort of QB run. But we'll see. It gives him a little bit more breathing work, but still not much. You're still on your own 5, so we'll see what they go to here in the playbook.
Sam Wiles has been incredibly electric today. Do you think that speaks more to the play calling here from West and switching things up, or do you think that speaks more to his talent as a quarterback?
I think it's a little bit of both because, he really excels at running the ball.
We're going to see him run with it here. Spins through a tackler, pushes for the 5-yard line. Just trying to get as far away from that end zone as you can. Not even necessarily a game of trying to get that first down. Just give Marquardt some room back there.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say that, but I mean, again, what you're doing here, probably won't see a pass to get the first down, although that would be great. This is probably just some breathing room for Joe because that's a pretty uncomfortable spot, especially with this Princeton special teams. They really like to rush the punter, so we'll see what they do right here.
Wiles will remain out. Gonzalez, the back to his left. Lots of stacking going on that offensive line. Wiles running out left, and he's going to be wrapped up at the 2-yard line. And that few yards of room they had for Marquardt goes right out the window. This is going to be a very tight punt on 4th and 20.
Yeah, this is a really tough play. This is really going to show what Joe's made of here. But
as the clock is winding down on the half, Princeton doesn't have any timeouts. So we're not even going to see the punt. West going to take to the locker rooms. Got a little bit distracted there with the goal line situation, but West narrowly escaping. They're going to head into the locker rooms up 3-0 over the Vikings, their first lead they've held all year. We'll be right back on Lakota West Student Broadcasting with all the second half coverage. Thank you for sticking with us, and be sure to catch the second half live on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Second half football action back from Firebird Field as the Firebirds currently lead this one 3-0 over their GMC rival, the Princeton Vikings. As we thank you for tuning back into this Lakota West student broadcast, taking you along the way as always tonight. I'm Nick Johnson, and alongside our fantastic analyst Jordan Houck. And Jordan, a bit of a slow-moving game in the first half. The Firebirds able to eke across 3 points. You take a look at these offensive yardages. What are you seeing on that stat sheet that stands out?
Well, offense has, on paper, has been very balanced, even though West has got a drive going, and they had a couple of drives going. It's just mental mistakes, honestly. And if they can stop with those mental mistakes, they could probably put, 7 on the board here this half, or, try to. But I do want to read these off. 20 total offensive plays for the Vikings, 52 yards. 23 plays, total plays for West, 59 yards. That's a 7-yard difference. It's a 3-0 game. These offenses have, they haven't found the answer yet, I will say. But, you look at it, West has done a better job. If you're watching the game, everything besides the stat sheet, I think West has done a little bit better with. So we'll see if they can put 7 on the board. But besides that, it's been pretty evenly battled, the entire game.
Braden Benner out to tee us off and get us away here in the second half, as we want to remind all our viewers that the 45th Annual Lakota West Craft Show is a little over a month away on October 7th and 8th. All proceeds benefit student programs. Student and parent volunteers are needed. Reach out to the Craft Show on Facebook, Lakota West PTSO Craft Show, for more information.
All right, we'll see if Princeton's offense here can maybe get in a rhythm. They could try to, but this West defense has shut them down all night. They've had an answer for everything, whether it's that quarterback option, the triple option, bubble screens to the flats. They've answered the bell on pretty much every play type you can call. So I really don't know what they could go to here. Maybe some jet sweeps, more quarterback runs, and they try to throw this defense off. But again, they've answered the bell on every play type. So we'll see what happens here.
Last week, week 1 for the Firebirds, 0 points to St. X, 0 points to the Firebirds. As Birch gets us off and away here, he's going to keep this one. Gain of about 5 yards up to the 25-yard line. 2nd and 5 to start the drive for the Vikings.
Yeah, that might be what you see this drive. That's the only thing that's been relatively working all day for them, has been that quarterback option, because you can be really versatile with it. You could throw in a motion and make it a triple option and try to throw the defense off. But again, I'll say it again, they've done a great job answering every play, and we'll see what they do here.
And D'Angelo Birch rushing last week, only 2 yards on 3 attempts. Already well over that total here today. Is this play going to run out past the line to gain? First down for the Vikings. Ball spotted around the 32-yard line. Chains will move. Vikings starting out strong.
Nice little pass to the flats. That's all it takes. That was good blocking on that outside, but the receivers didn't catch the numbers. But that was just good blocking, and it moves the chains. So that's really all you need.
Vikings working with a 1st and 10. Ball spotted officially on the 33-yard line. We'll see what D'Angelo Birch and company have planned on offense here as we get another quick timeout here from the officials. Looks like a substitution here late for Princeton.
May not be a big deal now, but sometimes these equipment issues can kill you.
Jordan Houston, the Viking, running off to the sideline. In his place, number 14, Dalen Jarman. Already a minute 15 off the clock here in the second half. Birch out in shotgun. 2 backs, 1 on either side. Birch takes off up the middle. Great speed up there to the 44-yard line. Looks like he has the first down as well. And the chains will indeed start to move.
Their bread and butter to this point has been that quarterback option. Although, for the most part, West has been able to shut it down. There's a couple times where they can't. That's where they're vulnerable, and that's where they get those yards from. And they continue to move the chains and keep these West defenders on their toes.
Offense is heating up a bit more. This one, quick pass out to the flat. That's Antonio Hunter. Shoved out of bounds there on the Princeton sideline, just shy of the 50-yard line.
Same play concept as before. That quick pass out to the flats and then QB option. So, they might go back to the QB option here. I doubt it, because I know West is probably anticipating that. But we'll see what they can come up with right here.
It's hard to have less offense in the second half when the only scoring play in the first was a 24-yard chip shot field goal. And so far, the offense is heating up significantly more here as Birch carries it across the 40-yard line of Firebird territory. Princeton continues to run through this defense.
Again, I mean, Princeton read my mind right there. I'm going to be honest. They had the quarterback option working. They got it working right now. That's probably what they're gonna milk because I mean, to this point, they've really done a great job running it. The O-line's gotten a good push, and D'Angelo is really selling that fake. So they're doing a good job to this point.
Similar formation to the one we've seen so far this half, as it's a handoff up the middle on the option. Not much of a gain there, maybe a yard.
Good stop by Gabriel Flores right there. That's G-Flow.
That defensive front, it's been the story so far all years. So far all year. Flores and Eli Davis over there. You put Jonas Griffith in there, one of the few new names on this defense. I mean, we've talked about it last week, really only 2 new names. You keep that defense together from last year. Obviously, you lose Malik Hartford, Ben Minnick, Josh Fussell, all of those guys, but it's still a very talented core. As this one thrown across the middle, there's Hunter to the 30-yard line. Looks like he'll be just shy of the line to gain. We'll see where they officially spot it.
To this point, coaches have done a really good job with adjustments. They've really analyzed that West defense, see what they're doing. They're really catching them on their toes. They're not doing anything too fancy. They're running these out routes to the flats and these bubbles in there, and their quarterback option. I mean, they're not doing anything fancy. They're just making it happen.
Birch on the keeper, scrambles out right, finds a hole. He had nothing but grass ahead of him to that end zone, but the Firebirds able to wrap him up around the 10-yard line. Looks from the spot of the football that there will be a first down around the quarter-yard line, just in front of that goal line.
Surprised at this point that West, again, I'll say it again, their only weakness, they don't have a weakness, but their only sort of weakness has been that quarterback run. And we saw it with Fairfield last year. That's what they abused in that 3 overtime game, as here's a run.
Run to the right side there. That's David Hambrick. 49 yards in last week's contest. Hasn't gotten the ball as much as he did last week, but when he gets the rock, he's still hot and moving this game.
How much you want to bet this is a read option right here?
Have we seen a play that isn't a read option on this drive?
Not, I mean, well, couple times, but there it is.
Birch hit hard in the backfield. It will be a handoff on the option up the middle. I'm surprised that wasn't an unnecessary roughness penalty. You lock in on your guy there, hit the quarterback. That was a great defensive play. You just got to be happy there was no flag on it.
Yeah, I need my money right there. I called that. Let's see, Judah check into the game, number 90 there, Junior. So you got a 4-man front right here. This is defensive stand. This is what you play football for. This is 1 yard to go here.
3rd and 1 from the 2. Birch stays out in the shotgun. He's got Hambrick the back to his right. Snap taken, handoff up the middle. Hambrick makes a push for the goal line. Did he get there? Looks like he'll at least have the first. No touchdown. Play whistle dead. We'll see where they spot it. It does look like from here he got the first. Couple of substitutions for Princeton, and they do give him the first down.
Yeah, Princeton's knocking on the door right here. This just kind of shows how much toughness you have, and they're gonna send everybody on this one on the west side defense. They're gonna send all they got because they know this read option's coming, or some sort of pass to the flats, or some sort of trickery play.
It looks like we get a timeout here. It's going to be for the west side. We'll take a quick step aside. We'll be right back after this quick timeout on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Back from Firebird Field, and we do have a correction. Princeton was the team to call that timeout there. They will have 2 remaining in the half as they get set for first and goal from the 1-yard line. As D'Angelo Birch goes under center, handoff, finds Hambrick. Touchdown Vikings.
Just a simple run up the middle, that right side. Came up to the line like he was going to sneak it. Ended up handing the ball off, and that's what you get. That's 6 points.
Princeton able to adjust very well at halftime. Now we just got to see, were both offenses able to adjust? Did Princeton pick up on something maybe West didn't, and is West going to be able to counter with the same?
That's a question that's going to be answered this second half, so curious to see how this plays out.
Out for the kick, Cole Kimball, who missed a PAT last week. Flag thrown. False start on the kicking team.
Yeah, not a lot of action last week for this guy, but he's out there. So it'll be a false start on Princeton.
Princeton using 2 kickers last week. Cole Kimball, who is out on the field now, along with Parker Evans. Evans attempted the only field goal, went 0 for 1. He was 1 of 1 on extra points. Kimball, 3 extra point attempts, drilled 2 of them. High snap there. This one is going to be no good. Possession markers are out as Kimball has to fall on the football. We're a field goal game.
Yeah, that's actually pretty big, because West they're gonna find their rhythm now. Hopefully they could put up 6, but I mean 3 is just as good in this game.
So you got to wonder, obviously the penalties playing a big part in both offenses really in the first half. And we look down at this stat sheet, only a 3-yard difference in penalty yardage. Princeton, 5 penalties for 45 yards against them. West, 6 penalties for 48. Of course, a lot of those tended to move West down the field and, of course, set up that big drive that resulted in the field goal. So, are we relying on those halftime adjustments? Do you think if things were to stay the same, is West entirely out of this game on offense? What are we going to look at in the second half?
Oh, no, it's going to be a lot more scoring, because once they get their adjustments in and they know what they're doing, they're sticking to that plan. They're not going to change. They're going to stick to that plan. And I believe I see Sam Wiles out in the huddle right now for West, so they're going to stick with him.
It'll be Wiles, one of the return men out for Lakota West.
Yeah, I was going to say. Thanks for the correction right there.
Back deep will be Giovanni Wilson and Brennan Remy. 6:21 remain in the third quarter. As the Firebirds get set here. Not many kickoffs to the Firebirds last week, but Brennan Remy, of course, a dangerous returner anytime you get him back there. Only return yards he picked up last week, 8 yards on a punt return. A very interesting kick formation here. Gonna bounce in front of Remy. He scoops at about the 15, runs it down the west sideline, gets out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So fantastic field position here for these Lakota West Firebirds when they come out for their first drive of this half.
Yeah, I don't know. I've actually never seen that formation before, I'm going to be honest. But definitely did not work, and gives the west side a great field position. So we'll see if the offense can go to work here. Curious to see what they do if they stick with Sam in the backfield in these QB runs, just like what Princeton's doing. But they're going to send Jackson out there in the shotgun. So we'll see what happens here.
Smith will be out with Gonzalez behind him. 1st and 10 officially from the 35. Handoff to Gonzalez, pushes up the middle. Offensive line creating room for him up the gut. Only able to pick up about 1 yard on the carry.
Yeah, tough run. Not a lot of space up the middle right there, but he's trying. He's a hard back to bring down, so he's just going to run right through you, but not a ton of room right there.
Forward progress, they are going to give him 2, so a 2nd and 8 on the way. That run, he got a couple hands on him in the backfield, but that just kind of shows the power of Gonzalez to keep being able to fight forward on those runs.
That's why he's one of the captains.
Smith will now have Gonzalez out to his left. 4 out wide for Lakota West. Quick fire out to Brennan Remy on the right sideline across the 50. That'll move the chains for the Firebirds as they break into Vikings territory.
See, that's a good play. That gets Jackson's confidence up. Those quick passes like that, those are good yards, and it gets your quarterback's confidence up to keep slinging it. So if they can, find plays like that or find relative plays like that, they could really move the ball here and do something and put some points on the board.
And that doesn't look like a very friendly Lakota West spot. You can see it just on the other side of the 50, still in West territory. Bit of our sideline view is blocked, but you got to wonder if that spot is the true spot on that play, as this pass intended for Wilson in the flat goes incomplete.
Yeah, a little loopy pass there. Overthrew his receiver. Nothing you can really do about that. Sets up a second and long. So maybe they can try and get some route concepts going here, try to attack through the air.
Luka Gilbert going to go in as a receiver out wide to the left. He's got Barnett on that left side with him. Gilbert, a favorite target of Jackson Smith so far in his 2 games. High snap, Smith has got a fall on this football. Still unable to come up with it, and Lakota West will still have possession here. And they're able to dive on that football and save the day. That could have been disastrous, but that is Christian Siders, the offensive lineman, right tackle, able to fall on that football and save possession.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate mistake, but he saved the game right there. That was a big reception here. But I believe they're going to have Sam Wiles out there on a 3rd and a mile. So anticipate a quarterback run here. Not sure what they can do. They've got 8 seconds left on the play clock, so they really got to get going.
3rd and 25 here for the Firebirds. Flag thrown pre-snap. And it looks like there was a timeout called before delay of game. So West taking their first called timeout of the half. We'll be right back in just a few moments on Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Third and 25 on the way here from Lakota West. Sam Wiles will remain the quarterback in the game on this 3rd and what feels like a country mile at this point. Late substitution for Princeton. Snap taken, not in time for the 12-man call as Wiles continues to shove up the middle. And he's going to get to about the 42-yard line. Gets quite a bit of distance back, but Joe Marquardt going to come out. And this punt unit has to pin the Vikings back deep here. You can't allow another offensive possession like we saw the last time out.
Yeah, I want to mention to Joe right here, if you guys remember last year, he made a punt that was 1 yard shy against Princeton of the West record. He was 1 yard shy of the tie, which was 72 yards, and it was just incredible. And, hopefully we can get one of those here. There's a knuckleball.
This one taken at about the 32-yard line. Shifty return from Antonio Hunter, who's able to get up past the 40 to about the 42-43 of Vikings territory. But we'll see the offensive unit come back out in just a few moments after this quick break. First and 10 Vikings from their own 42-yard line. Just under 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter of play as your Firebirds trailing 6-3 in this one. This is going to be Birch on the quarterback keeper, another option play. We saw a lot of those on the last drive where things kind of started to finally shift in the Vikings' direction. They finally picked up their first points of the day on a touchdown. Of course, that missed PAT, keeping the Firebirds within a field goal.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to see for the rest of the game. They're really going to ride out this quarterback option, this read option. Whether it's a triple option with a man in motion or even an RPO, they're going to have the quarterback run involved in some sort of play for the rest of the game, really.
3-yard gain on the Birch run. Stays in shotgun here, hands it off up the middle. That'll once again go to Hambrick. Flags down late on the play. Not much of a gain there. It'd still be third and about 5 or so, but it looks like a face mask, the potential call on the field. And it will be.
Not sure who that was on. I saw Gabe Flores at the bottom of the pile, but
and it is Flores. So Princeton picking up a sideline warning there as well. Seems like last year it was Lakota West. It felt like most games, if not all of them, picking up the sideline warning first, but we see our first warning of the year in a West game, and it goes against the Vikings.
Yeah, that's the one penalty that I really don't mind. I'm going to be honest. It means you're into the game, and the coaches are really in the game.
Pass out to the flat. It's Antonio Hunter. West falling on the ball. That looked like an incompletion from here, and it will be called an incompletion. Bukari Miles especially really wanted that called. Did that look like a completion and fumble to you, or were you seeing incompletion too?
I don't want to say it, but, I mean, it did look like an incomplete pass. He didn't have full possession of it, nor did he really take any steps with the ball. He just kind of bobbled it, never really had possession, so it'll still be 2nd and 10 here. Now they're in a tough spot because they're not usually in their spot, especially that last drive. They didn't have these 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations, so I'm curious to see what they do here.
Birch with the keeper on the option, runs it up the middle. Gonna get about half of the chains on this one, 3rd and 5 on the way. This is a big 3rd down for Lakota West. One more score for the Vikings, and who knows how the outcome of this game is going to look for these Firebirds, the way their offensive team has been going.
Man, I know. Offense has been tough, but again, adjustments can be made. People can be moved. Play calls, I mean, they can be different. I mean, it really, it's all about the momentum of the game, really. So.
Birch back to pass, pressure from Cam Thomas, nearly intercepted by Finn Mason on the sideline. Big 4th down forced by the Firebirds.
That's a big stop right there. That gives your offense another chance here if they come out and punt it, which I believe they do, and they will.
Finn Mason, one of those newer additions to this defense. He is not new to interceptions, though. Picked up 2 interceptions in the first-round playoff game against Lebanon last year.
Yeah, he's a great safety. He's just an over-the-top guy that has great closing speed on deep balls as we got an official's timeout.
And at the moment, it looks like Finn Mason, the return man, back on this punt. Like you mentioned, the whistles here, neither team really set.
I think we got another equipment issue on the Princeton Vikings.
And here comes Brennan Remy on in the return spot. Of course, Finn Mason, one of the Mason twins on this team. His brother Reese, one of the receivers for this West team. Low snap there on the punt. West nearly able to block it as this one tumbles into the end zone for a touchback. West will come out to the 20-yard line when we return after this short break. You're watching Lakota West Student Broadcasting. From the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Firebirds. Jackson Smith will start under center here. He'll take to the shotgun formation, fire across the middle. There's Trey Barnett. He's got the first down and maybe a yard extra there across the 30-yard line of Firebird territory.
Nice little RPO right there. That's all it takes. You got Junior in the backfield who's going to collapse all these defenders. That leaves the middle of the field wide open. And Trey Barnett, again, just a great athlete. And he caught one earlier across the middle. He's got some speed. And when he gets in open space, it's hard to catch.
You take a look at his numbers last year, and you add him into this West offense, he's a dangerous weapon, if not more dangerous than he was in Northern Kentucky last year. Jackson Smith, quick fire. This one on the left sideline. It's Brennan Remy. Putting the moves on the defense around that Vikings sideline, able to pick up about half of the chains there. 2nd and 5 on the way for Lakota West. Man,
he's a shifty guy. And they got to give the ball to him more often, I personally think, because he makes it happen. He's a big playmaker. Once you get him the ball, it don't matter how many defenders are by him, how close they are, he's going to get some yards somehow, some way. So I look forward to maybe seeing the ball go to him a little bit more often here.
West breaks the huddle, just under a minute 20 to play in the 3rd quarter. Smith remains out at quarterback. Gonzalez the back to his right. Low snap. Smith back to pass. Fires deep across the middle for Brennan Remy. Overthrown. And, of course, some great coverage on that play for the Vikings as well. Deep in coverage, Andrew Wells, the sophomore, 5'10", 175 defensive back.
Yeah, true sophomore right there. He was all over that. Jackson got some air on that. He was there, but the window closed fast because he's just got great closing speed right there. In that free safety spot, he really closed the window really fast. So that's a tough ball, and it's better to be overthrown than underthrown in that situation for sure.
3 yards to the line to gain here on 3rd down. Luca Gilbert, if you'll notice at the bottom of your screen, coming onto the field for the Firebirds. He's been a favorite target of Smith. Low snap, bobbled. Quick strike, looks for Barnett. Is that intercepted? It is not. Ball came out there. It will be incomplete. 4th and 3 on the way.
Man, I'll be honest, that was in his hands, and he dropped it. And I don't know, that dude has butterfingers or something, but, I mean, in that situation, you got to catch those. But a big break for us. And we'll see if we can boot one off here. Hopefully let the defense do their thing, get a 3 and out, and give this offense another chance here soon.
Marquardt out here, 4th and 3, 50 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Punt from the 40-yard line of Firebird territory. Snap taken, flag pre-snap. And it's going to be a false start on the Firebirds.
Not going to affect Joe too much because, he's got a big boot. But again, we'll see if he can pin him back even further here. Could use a 72-yard punt here. That would be nice.
I don't know. A coffin corner from this spot on the field would be a fantastic move if he could get there. High kick here for Marquardt. Fair catch called for at the 28.5, maybe 29 of Vikings territory. We're going to take a quick step aside. Viking football when we come back. Back from Firebird Field, 42 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Vikes take over 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Firebirds looking to continue to play solid defense here. This run stretch out to the right side. Firebirds read it well. Stop them at the line.
Great stop by that defense. They just swarmed to the ball right there. They knew it was coming. They anticipated it, and they made it happen. So that was a great stop. See if they can get another one right here.
2nd, and they are going to give the Vikings a half a yard there. So 2nd and 9.5. Cam Thomas, the man running to the west sideline here, late substitution.
You can anticipate probably a similar play. Definitely will not throw out the the option as the quarter will run out right here.
And that will do it. Both sidelines go back. And we will flip sides of the field. We'll be right back. 2nd and 10 on the way for the Vikings. Firebirds looking to hold strong and make a comeback in quarter number 4. 12 minutes remain. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for tuning in to Lakota West Student Broadcasting. Back with the final 12 minutes to play here from Lakota West High School and Firebird Field. Vikings going to start this quarter off by handing enough up the middle. 3rd and relatively long on the way for the Vikings. The Firebirds looking for yet another big 3rd down stop on this play.
Yeah, big 3rd down here, but again, same formation, same play, different result. I mean, they're getting some yards, but they're not getting a lot as much as what they had in that first drive in the second half. But again, this is a pretty big 3rd down here. Hopefully they can get off the field and give this offense another chance.
And you got to wonder if the Vikings continue to play this way. When does clock management come to effect in the 4th quarter? Quick strike across the middle. That's caught, staying on his feet. Is a receiver there. I'm sorry I wasn't able to quite get the number there. I do believe that was Jordan Houston there for the Vikings.
Yeah, that was just a good read by the quarterback right there. I mean, that was man coverage. You can't guard a post route like that with that soft and that amount of yardage to go. But again, they convert and they keep the chains moving. So let's see if this defense, I mean, said it all night. They got to get a stop here. It's detrimental right here.
When you keep running that ball, and especially when you're running the play fakes that Princeton has, eventually when you go for that pass, it's going to hit. And it did right there. Ball spotted inside Firebird territory at the 49-yard line for the Vikings. 1st and 10 as we get a substitution here for the Vikings late. Making his way onto the field, Jordan Fitzpatrick, who we talked a lot about in the pregame. 3 of the Viking touchdowns last week. Haven't seen a ton of him here today in this game.
I can only imagine what they're going to do right here.
Snap and a handoff to the left side. This is Hambrick. Able to get a few yards before he finds a huge hole. Picks up the 1st down. Gain of about 12 on that carry down the left sideline. Vikings continue to move this football, and this could be it. We are looking at 10.5 minutes remaining in this quarter, but if the Vikings continue to roll this way on offense, West might not be able to hang on much too longer.
Yeah, at this point in the game, here in the 4th quarter, it's all about clock management now for Princeton. They really don't want to have West get another chance on offense. Even though they are pretty confident in their defense, there's still that level of uncertainty. So it's all clock management at this point. It's all going to be read options.
1st and 10 from the 37. This is Birch running it out to the right side on the keeper. Able to get the 1st down again to the 25-yard line of Firebird territory where he's brought down. Vikings continue to roll.
That read option, once again. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said it tonight, especially here in the second half, is got a West player down. Looks like he's cramping.
That's going to be Tabron Bennie-Powell. A cramp would make sense in the heat, but we're going to take a quick step aside with Tabron down on the field. We'll be back in a few minutes. Back from Firebird Field, the Vikings lead this one 6-3 with about 10 minutes remaining in the second half of play. Snap taken here by Birch. Handoff ran to the left side. And solid room there for the carrier, Andrew Wells.
I don't know if anybody remembers, but that is the exact formation that Fairfield used in that 3 overtime game last year. And these same play calls, it's just that read option that the quarterback's running. They could go left or right. They can run a triple option out of it if they really wanted to and get fancy, but they really aren't doing anything fancy. It's the same formation, same play. It's just different variations, so it's tough to stop.
Handoff here up the middle. Not quite sure who the number on that jersey was. That's going to be number 23. So once again, Andrew Wells on the carry. Wells 9 yards in last week's contest. We haven't seen him very much today.
Yeah, he's being utilized today, though. He's getting his work in, that's for sure. He's running right down the heart of that defense and right up into that interior line, which is, I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't do that. So if you give him pads, and he's been running all night, but for the most part, they've been doing a good job of shutting it down.
3rd and 5, this one to keep the Vikings from touchdown. And that one going to be wrapped up by Jacob Asbeck. That was Antonio Hunter there on the 25-yard line.
Again, great coverage by number 11 right there. He's everywhere. You mentioned the jack of all trades. He's a jack of all trades, all right. Jacob has just been everywhere. He's been a star player for this team ever since his freshman year. I mean, he's been incredible. And that's why he's one of the leaders of this defense. And that's why he's going to Navy next year. So I'll be excited to see what he does in the future. As here's a huge 4th down. They're going to go for it.
Yeah, I stumbled over my words there. I was saying that's a big play to keep Princeton at a field goal only and prevent that touchdown as we get a timeout called here. This is going to be, I believe, a Lakota West timeout. This would be their second. And it will be a Princeton timeout. It will go the other way. So it will be their second called timeout of the half. We'll see if they still elect to go for it on 4th and 4 when we return. Princeton keeping the offensive unit out on the field here. 4th and 4 from the Firebird 19. Birch takes a snap, looks to throw, fires across the middle, complete inside the 10-yard line to number 19, Landon Murray. And that will pick up the first. Vikings still in danger of getting into the end zone here and making this ball game a little closer to being over.
Man, that's a tough one. That's a confidence call right there. I mean, to have your offense out there, you've only put up 6 points all game against a defense like this. I mean, props to him for sticking his guys out there. But man, they haven't done that all night. Or those passes down the field, really, they haven't done that all night. And to try that against his defense, you just got to give props, man. I mean, that's a good play call, and they're still running. So we'll see what happens here.
Ball spotted on the 9 here, 1st and goal. And, of course, West playing with a chip on their shoulder. Their last home loss Friday, September 27th of 2019 as we get a pre-snap flag. And it'll be false start backing up the Vikings 5 yards. That'll be 1st and goal from the 14-yard line of Firebirds territory. 7 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the ball game.
This is a good situation here because, again, they're not used to these 1st and long, 2nd and long situations. They're not good in long situations. They're good at making short plays and getting good gains out of it, but they're not used to making these plays that gain so many yards. So Again, what you're probably going to see here is that same formation with the two halfbacks behind the quarterback and another variation of a read option.
1st and 14 from the 14. Birch with two backs, one on either side. He keeps this one, runs up the middle, able to scramble inside the 5 on his feet. Makes a push for the goal line. Did he get it? It does not look like it. There is a pile on the 1 yard line, but it looks like that will be 2nd and 1 from the 1. And they'll spot it there on the 2.
Here comes Judah for a goal line stand. They're going quick here, but they're going to send everybody. This is smash mouth football right here.
High school football, hands it off. Run to the right side, handbrick. Did he get in? It looks like he will. Pile being pushed. Touchdown, Vikings.
That's a tough one right there. But the only thing you can do now is bounce back from that. You got to go quick. You got to play with some urgency now. And not entirely out of it. But
there is a flag on the play at the 1 yard line that was hidden by the pile.
Oh, my.
That built up on the goal line. And it looks like the ball is being respotted. And it looks like unsportsmanlike conduct there on Lakota West. A little frustration after the play.
Yeah, a little salt on the wound right there, but.
That's number 5. That's Drew Minnick of the Firebirds.
Man.
Out for the PAT. I believe this is Parker Evans, and it's blocked. Princeton 0 for 2 on point after attempts so far today. As this will stay a 12-3 ball game. And the Firebirds staying alive here in the special teams category. Touchdown away from a 2-point game, or maybe one with the 2-point conversion. We'll see what the offense comes out with when we come back after this. 6:45 remain in the game. Twelve to 3, our new score from Firebird Field here at Lakota West High School. Princeton able to punch another one across the goal line. The Firebirds still with 6 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the ball game to try and get on the comeback train in this one. It's been quite a while since we have been on the verge of saying the Firebirds could start this year 0-2.
Yeah, we're going to be in unfamiliar territory right here on the offensive side. This is hurry-up offense. This is 2-minute offense. You're down by 2 scores. You got to get something across the board. So we really haven't seen it, for a really long time, I'm going to be honest. Not just this year, but stretching back to last year, we haven't seen this offense in such hurry-up mode. So this could be a good thing. This could be a bad thing. So we're just going to have to wait and find out here.
Special teams has been the savior of Lakota West all game long. As this one, line drive kick through the back of the end zone. West starting from the 20.
All right, I'm going to be curious to see what they do here. You got to pass the ball in this situation. If you run the ball, you're just going to run yourself into the ground and probably waste your own time in the clock. So you got to pass the ball here. And you got to go to your certain guys. You got to go to your targets. You got to see Remy. Remy's your deep threat. Barnett's your underneath route. And Luca's just your target. If there's no other option, he's the check down. He should be the check down because he can make plays happen. And he's the guy you want to go to in this situation if you really can't find a receiver. But if you can't find a receiver here, I haven't seen it often from him, but you got to get out the pocket. You got to make a play, whether that's throwing the ball out of bounds or finding a receiver and trying to fit that ball in the pocket. This is it right here. So this is a score or game's over.
Smith takes the shotgun here. Gonzalez motioning out left. This one going to go to the slot man, Giovanni Wilson, who's able to pick up about a yard on that carry. He had to do a lot more work than a yard's worth on that one.
Yeah, nice little idea right there, but again, the clock has stopped. But again, you got to get some yards on this in this situation.
And
Whether that's
the clock stopped, there is an injury on the field. It is in the backfield. I would have to assume it is a Firebird. We are being blocked by the sideline here, so we're not entirely sure what the number is. And we are being told it is a Viking down on the field. And we do see a white uniform, so it will be. We're going to take a quick step aside through this injury timeout. We'll be right back in a few moments. Second and 10 for the Firebirds after the injury timeout. 6 minutes, 32 seconds remain in the ball game as the Firebirds trail here by 9. Just barely a two-possession game. As the Firebirds looking to go quickly down this field as this offense tries to find some life here late. This is going to be Gonzalez motioning out wide to the left. Smith drops back, looks to throw, under pressure from both sides. Fire across the middle, incomplete for Giovanni Wilson. And visible frustration on the face of Giovanni Wilson.
yeah, not a perfect throw right there. Tough throw. He's moving to his right. Got to throw his across his body to a man who's moving full speed like G across the middle. That's a tough play, but I mean, those are yards. I mean, you got to pick up those yards sometimes. You just can't afford to do that.
Smith here going to have Gonzalez in the backfield to his right. 4 receivers out wide for the Firebirds, 2 on each side of Smith. Snap taken. Smith looks to throw, steps up in the pocket, fires across the middle, finds Remy. He's right at that line to gain. Looks like they're going to give him the first down, and the chains start to move.
That's all it takes right there. 10 yards. That's 10 easy yards. You're not wasting too much time. Clock is stopped, so you want to get everybody set. Clock is now running, so you want to get everybody set. You got to go quick here because you're down 2 scores. And even 3 would be nice here, so I would anticipate them going for a quick field goal here so they can get as much time to get that 6 as possible.
3 out wide to the right now for the Firebirds, 1 out to the left. Smith to throw. Quick strike over to Remy on the Firebird sideline. Stays on his feet, able to pick up a few yards on that one, able to save a couple yards on that gain. He almost went down there. Princeton had him wrapped up by the knees, but Brendan Remy, I mean, talk about a guy who's able to break a few tackles here and there.
Oh, yeah. But I want to say that that was probably anticipated for him to go out of bounds, and it didn't happen. So the clock is still running. You're on a time crunch right here, so, I mean, you got to get going.
4 wide, Gonzalez in the backfield. Smith back to throw, under pressure, and he stands back, takes the sack. Oh, he's going to be able to get rid of this one. Hit from both sides, able to stay on his feet. It looks like there is a flag down there. Not sure if that's going to be intentional grounding. It did look like he was still in the pocket, and a Viking is down as well. So we'll see what the penalty is, and then I do believe that is 12 down for the Princeton Vikings, which would be Travis Lawrence, the senior linebacker.
Yeah, still not sure what the call is here.
The flag is still laying down on the field, but of course the injury kind of taking priority here. We are going to take a quick step aside. When we come back, we hope to have word on what that flag is from Firebird Field. The injured Viking cleared off the field, and we do have word on the penalty. It was confirmed to be intentional grounding on Jackson Smith. Not able to get out of the pocket there, and then I didn't see a receiver where he threw that ball on the sideline. So not only a loss of yards, but a loss of down as well. 3rd and 20 upcoming for the Firebirds, and that's not what you like to see on a drive where a score is crucial to the integrity of the game.
Yeah, you just probably got to let it fly right here. Just hopefully something good happens and a receiver comes down with this one.
Smith under pressure. He's going to roll to the right. Fires deep for Brennan Remy. That was 1-on-3 there, and Brennan Remy nearly came up with it one-handed, but it will be dropped. Would have brought the Firebirds to the 50, and Marquardt comes on. We saw this last week. Bolden seemingly conceding the game here. Of course, still a little under 5 minutes to play. And you obviously don't want to give Princeton that field position, but you got to wonder maybe even an attempt to draw him off sides to get 5 yards or something would be better than a punt here.
Yeah, I think it's a confidence call. I think he's more confident in his defense, creating a turnover and creating this momentum that hopefully they can get some points on the board. So, I mean, I don't blame them. The defense has done a great job all night. They've had a test, and their test is stopping this quarterback option. But, again, they've done a solid job. I mean, that's 12 points. 12 points in a high school game is nothing today. And, I mean, they stand the test. But, again, it's just the offense just not clicking, not clicking. We saw it on one drive. It looked pretty good. But then after that, they just fall out of rhythm, and it's back to the week 1 against St. X. It just looked out of rhythm, and Jackson looked frantic in the pocket and making that mistake of throwing it out of bounds. That was tough, but yeah, he's just trying to make something happen.
Handoff here finds Hambrick, able to fight for about 2.5 yards up the middle here. Clock continues to run.
Yep, it's all clock management at this point. It's all going to be read options. It's all going to be handoffs. The game will be played through the ground in this last 4:30 and counting. So don't be surprised if they hand the ball off here again. So we'll just see if this Firebird defense can stop them here.
There's going to be a keeper here for Birch. Flag thrown, play blown dead. See what the call is here. And it's going to be a false start blowing the play dead. Vikings backed up 5.
Good news for the West defense. Helps them out.
Of course, West still with 2 timeouts. 4 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. It'll be interesting to see how they choose to use them.
Yeah. Yeah, clock is ticking, so they will definitely take up that play clock as much as they can.
You see the Vikings here, no hurry getting to that line as we cross the 4-minute mark remaining in this game, and some of the student sections starting to file out. This is going to be a handoff up the middle, gain of 2. Vikings about to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I anticipate a timeout here.
Once again, that was Andrew Wells up the middle for the Vikings. 3rd and 10.
Although, man, 3:30 and counting. They're really eating up this clock. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. You already know what's going to happen. It's going to be another run. It'll be another read option type of play. As you said, the crowd is starting to file out one by one.
3 minutes, 10 seconds remain. Snap taken by Birch. He's going to run with this one up the left side. Read well by the West defense. 4th down on the way.
There's that timeout.
Yep, one of the 2 remaining. We're going to take a step aside with him. Big punt on the way for the Vikings. We'll see what the Firebirds able to do on special teams when we return. Punt formation out for the Vikings. 3 minutes, 4 seconds remain in the ball game. A timeout apiece here in the waning moments here at Firebird Field. Jordan Houston out to boot this one away. A high kick. Brennan Remy deep to receive. Fair catch called for at the 12. Near contact there. No kick catch interference flag will be thrown as the offensive unit right back onto the field. Not a 3 and out on defense for the Firebirds, but they were able to get off the field somewhat quickly.
Yeah, we'll see what type of urgency this offense has. Haven't seen a lot of urgency today or throughout the season, though last week. But I'm really curious to see what they do. If they really just want to run it and you know, I don't want to say concede, but concede. If they really want to let it fly here and try to get a quick score and maybe throw it up to one of your playmakers.
If you notice the top of the screen, Luka Gilbert is one-on-one over there. Maybe throw it up to the big guys. Smith back to pass under pressure, stepping up, tries to get it off, nearly intercepted, and it is dropped. That was Chaz Cole, who was on the turf moments ago. One of the injuries we've seen from the Vikings here today as we have another Viking slow to get up as training team rushes out to the field. We'll take another injury timeout here from Lakota West High School. Second and 10 on the way from Firebird Field. 2 minutes, 57 seconds remain. 4 wide here for the Firebirds. Smith looks to pass, fires across the middle, and this one is intercepted. And that's a Princeton pick 6. An incredible snag from Bishop James. As those will be the final nails in the coffin, the Firebirds going to drop one at home for the first time since September 27th, 2019.
That's a tough one. You know, Jack, he's shown his youth, but I mean, there's always room for improvement. I mean, the only way, there's no way down. There's only room to improve from this point on. So, I mean, other than that, don't have much to say, but just a good fight by these Vikings. They've done a great job on defense, shutting down this West offense. Other than that, I don't have too much to say.
And we do have an injured Princeton Viking on the field here before this point after attempt. We're going to take a quick step aside. 18-3 our score, 2:40 remaining in the ball game. Back with the point after attempt here at Firebird Field. Princeton leading this one 18-3 after the pick 6 from Bishop James. Princeton unsuccessful on both point after attempts so far today. Make it 0 for 3, another block. Jacob Asbeck and Drew Minnick getting back by the holder. This game stays 18-3.
At least that's something to look up to. Special teams have been pretty incredible. Even through last week, they've done a really good job. besides one tip punt. I mean, nothing bad you could say about him. So, I mean, that's, something to look up to.
2 minutes, 40 seconds remain prior to this kickoff here. We saw the Firebirds try and play the long ball on their last time out. Jackson Smith still hasn't quite shown his full arm strength yet. They are trying to keep him in relatively short range, even as the clock winds down in this game. Do you think that maybe changes on this upcoming possession?
Not sure at this point, going to be honest. That's a tough score to look at. With 2:40 left, West is going to get the ball. They might try it out either a Sam Wiles, number 12, or even we could see a Nolan Parker, number 15, in this one, just to gain some credit, gain some credibility, and maybe make a name for themselves, because I'm sure they're probably going to get a shot here.
Those special teams units still getting set here for the final 2:40. Ball gets teed up, kicking things away will be Cole Kimball.
I will say this is definitely the longest game I've been a part of in a while.
It felt like it was moving fast there at the start, but between all the injury timeouts, the flags, this game, there's significantly more flags on the field this week than we saw last week.
You can say that again.
Taken inside the 5, Remy down the Princeton sideline, lowering the helmet there as he crossed the 15 to about the 17-yard line is where he's going to go down.
All right, so I believe that was that's the second team, special teams on the field right there. So this is for credibility, and this is for individual performance at this point on this drive. Is you'll see a new face.
It will be the 4th quarterback we've seen in the game today, Nolan Parker, as you mentioned, coming out here as we get a timeout. This will be a timeout for the Princeton Vikings, their final of the ball game. We'll step aside with them. (18-3) our score in this one. Firebirds getting set to come back out, leading a drive down the field. And the man in shotgun will be number 15, Nolan Parker. As we mentioned prior to the timeout from Princeton, the 4th quarterback we've seen in this game, as that pass dropped across the middle by Barnett. And the way he was running, that looked like it might have been 6.
Yeah, that was right there, actually. That was a really good throw by Nolan. He stayed calm in the pocket. He had, I don't know if you saw that, but he had like 3 guys in his face right there throwing over. He's not a tall guy. He's not as tall as Jackson, but he delivers that seniority, I guess, if you can say that, and that calm in the pocket and that patience in the pocket, because he's been through it. He's been a backup to Mitch for the past 4 years, so he does a great job staying in the pocket and making the throw.
Nolan fires deep, this one to Giovanni Wilson, the slot man, breaks a tackle across the 50, inside the 40, continues to stay on his feet, across the 35 to the 34, where he is brought down. And I thought the energy was sucked out of this place. I've never heard it louder, and all the time I've been in this stadium.
I mean, we've been looking for that all night. We've been looking for that long shot all night. He let it fly right there. That was on the money. G with the great route. Nobody near him. Made another great move, because he's a shifty guy. And, I mean, it sets up the offense in a really good spot. So this is something good to look forward to right now.
They call it the rack there, run after the catch. Giovanni Wilson, fantastic with that speed. As Nolan goes down by the legs, that looks like it could be roughing the passer. You're not supposed to go low on the quarterback. That might be 15 more for the Firebirds.
I think they're
Oh, and it looks like they might be calling it a hold. The flag came out right as Nolan went down. And it is going to be a hold. They threw that flag right on that tackle. It's a bit of a surprising holding call there, but it backs the Firebirds up 10 more.
Yeah, that was Logan Brown that got across the left side edge right there. Junior defensive tackle. He's been really good all night. I don't know. He's been working in silence. I've noticed him. He's been really good. That's why you see that shoulder pad kind of messed up. That's about the work he's been doing.
1st and 10 from the 39. Parker with a back to his right. Back to throw. Fires across the middle to Giovanni Wilson again, who slips on the sideline.
It's a good spot. That's just a tough play to turn around and contort your body to make a catch like that. We got receivers that can do that. That's just a really tough play. So good spot. I mean, just unfortunate outcome.
Minute 38 remaining, a 3rd down and 4 for the Firebirds here. It'd be interesting to see if they go 4-down territory or if they kind of concede by bringing out special teams of some sort, depending on how this play turns out.
I doubt they'll concede with the way they're going right now, and how they're attacking through the air right now. I doubt they.
Nolan Parker firing deep here, incomplete, overthrown for Barnett. And it's 3rd and 14, not 3rd and 4. I believe I misspoke before the play.
Well, that was just a make it happen play, if you will. It's just a guy that's trying to let one rip deep and try to put some points up on the board and give this offense something to look on and build upon. But again, I mean, you'll probably see it again right here. 4th down, they're going to let it fly deep, and it doesn't matter what the outcome of this play is going to be right here.
4th and 14, Nolan Parker in shotgun. Gonzalez to his right. Back to throw. Whistle blows the play dead. Flag in the secondary. See what the call on this is. And it's a delay of game.
You don't see a lot of delay of games from Nolan Parker. At least not that often. So that makes a 4th and longer. So this is really where you just let it fly, and hopefully one-on-one ball, guy comes down with it. One of our playmakers come down with it at this point.
Firebirds going 4 wide here. It's Wilson and Remy wide out to the left. Barnett, and I believe that is Drew Minnick out wide to the right side as Nolan Parker goes down. Sack on the 50-yard line, turnover on downs. And West has a timeout. It'll be interesting to see if they use it, but even if they do, Vikings could come out in victory formation and end it.
Yeah, just all around great effort by Princeton. They've done a great job breaking down this West offense. You got to give credit where credit's due, and that's where you give credit is that Princeton defense. They've only held West to 3 points. I mean, this isn't a St. X defense, obviously, but I mean, they've done their jobs. They did their job. They got the job done on the defensive side of the ball. But again, you just got to give credit where credit's due. Here's a victory formation right here.
Birch a few steps back and a knee. No timeout taken from the West side. And stands officially clearing out here at Lakota West High School. The final score in this one, the Princeton Vikings 18, the Lakota West Firebirds 3. And of course, we look back on last week compared to this week, a lot of the same negatives, a lot of the same positives. Did we take anything else positive away from this performance on offense here tonight?
Offensively, that one drive they had, I believe, I'm not sure if it was after the half or before the half, but that one drive that resulted in a field goal, that's something to build upon. I mean, you look back, you go on film, you watch those plays, and you say, okay, how can we build upon this? How can we make those calls? How can we tweak things left and right? And hopefully, get a couple more yards out of this play or have a different result out of this play as this one wraps up with about 30 to go, and just a good effort by Princeton on that side.
15 seconds on the play clock, over 20 on the game clock, although both teams lining up for a handshake line here, and they will have to be brought back to their sidelines, although really isn't a mystery who has this game won, and that will do it. Under 10 seconds to go as clock will run out. 18-3 the final score on this one. Thanks for tuning in to this Lakota West Student Broadcasting stream. I've been Nick Johnson, alongside me Jordan Hauk. We will see you next week in Fairfield. Week 3, Lakota West looking to get a win in the win column here, go 1-2. Like we said, it's been a while since they've had an unfortunate start like this, but you'll have a little bit of adversity with the young talent that West has. So we will see you then, and until then, as always, go Firebirds.